Chitraji, do you want to start?
Yes, sir. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Dhan Dhanvantaraye Namaha. Yad balam avyaktam rasam kinchit ksharam satiktakam tanmulakam doshaharam lahusnoshnam niyachati gulma kasa kshaya shvasa vrananetra galamayan स्वराग्नि सादोदावर्त पीनसांश्च महत्पुनः रसे पाके च कटुकम् उष्णं वीर्यं त्रिदोषकृत् गुर्व अभिष्यन्ति च हिद्मा कास विषश्वास पार्श्वरूपूतिगन्धः सुरसः सुमुखो नातिविदाहि गरशोफः आद्रिका तिक्तमधुरा मूत्रला न च पित्तकृत् लशुनो भृतस्तीक्ष्णोष्णः कटुपाकरसः सरः हृद्यः केश्यो गुरुवृष्यः स्निग्धो रोचनदीपनः भग्नसन्धानकृद्बल्यो रक्तपित्तप्रदूषणः किलासकुष्ठगुल्मार्शोमेह कृमिकफानिलान् स हिद्मा पीनस श्वासकासान् हन्ति रसायनम् पलाण्डस्तुद्गुण न्यूनः श्लेष्मलो नातिपित्तलः. Palavarga we can take tomorrow, right, sir?
Yes, I think we can end for that. Thank you, Chitraji.
Yes, sir.
So, Chitraji, do you want to continue food not to be taken on a regular basis on chapter 8?
Yes. Following food substances should not be taken regularly but can be used occasionally. Kilata, inspissated milk that is making thick by evaporating moisture. Dadi, curds. Kurchika, solid portion of curds. Kshara, alkalines. Sukta, fermented gruel. Amamulaka, uncooked raw raffinous sativus. Krisha, meat of animals which are emaciated. Shushka mamsa, dry meat. Varaha, avi, go, matsya. Mahisha, amisa, meat of boar, sheep, cow, fish, buffalo. Masa, Nispava, Saluka, Bisa, Pista, Virudhaka, Suskasaka, Yavaka, Fanita. Recommended food to be taken daily. The following food substances can be taken regularly or habitually. Sali, Goduma, Yava, Sastika, Ganjala Mamsa, dwelling in the desert-like lands. Suni Sunnaka, Jivanti, Balamulaka, Patya, Amlaka, Draksha, Patola, Mudga. Sarkara, Grita, Divyodaka, Kshaudra, Dadima, Sendava. Recommended food during night hours. Habitual intake of triphala along with honey and ghee during night time will be useful to improve eyesight. One should consume the food substances regularly, which will be useful to promote the positive health as well as the drugs such as kiratika, useful to cure diseases. Recommended taste of food substances to be taken at the start, middle and end of the meal. Food substances which are having Madhura Rasa, Guru, Snigdha, Manda, Sita Guna such as Bisa, Ikshu, Moka, Kadali, Narikela, Amra, Modaka, Utkarika should be consumed at the beginning of the meal. Whereas the food substances that are having exact opposite qualities, Katu, Rasa, Laghu, Ruksha, Tikshna, Sara, Guna should be taken at the end of the meal. While those substances which are predominantly having Amla and Lavana Rasa should be consumed in the middle of the meal. Stomach capacity and the allotment of food. Divide the stomach into 4 parts and fill the stomach with 2 parts of the solid foods, 1 part with the liquid, and the remaining part should be kept vacant for the movement of vata, etc. Anupana, postprandial drinks. Anu means afterwards. Anupana, drink that has to be taken after meals or food substances, is known as Anupana. Water is the best postprandial drink. Ideal Anupana. In brief, all the postprandial drinks should have the proportion opposite to those of the food taken, but at the same time, such drinks should not be harmful to the tissue elements of the body. Type of food substances regimen. Best postprandial drinks. Food prepared with barley, wheat, curds, alcohol, poison or poisonous drugs, and honey. Cold water, corn flour, and other foods which are hard to digest. Hot water, vegetables, mugda, mastu, whey, buttermilk, sour ghee, gruel. Lean persons for stouten, syrup, alcohol. Obese to become lean, honey plus water. Sosa emaciation, mutton soup. After eating meal in Agnimanda, wine. Persons debilitated by disease, medicine, long walk, speaking long time, fasting, exposing to sun, exercise, aged and children, milk. Anupana guna, effect of postprandial drinks. Postprandial drink gives energy and satiation to the human beings, gives energy and nourishment to the body and sense organs, helps in proper digestion, assimilation, and instant diffusion of the food taken. Contraindications. Postprandial drink should not be taken by those suffering from the disease of the head, cough, injury to chest, running nose, engaged in singing and speaking, hoarseness of voice. Those who are overhydrated, suffering from polyuria, eye and throat disorders, and wounds should avoid drinking liquids. Soon after taking food and drinks, one should not give lectures, should not walk long distances or travel by vehicles, should not sleep, should not expose to sun and wind, if so causes disturbance in the stomach and leads to indigestion, etc. Recommended or ideal time for consumption of food.
Thank you, Suchitaji. Shanaji, do you want to read again from food not to be taken on regular basis?
Yes, I will. Yeah. Om Gam Ganapatiye Nama, Om Gurubhyo Nama, Om Dan Danvantraye Nama. Food not to be taken on regular basis. The following food substances should not be taken regularly, but can be used occasionally. Kilata, inspissated milk, making thick by evaporating moisture. Dadi, curds. Kurchika, solid portion of curds. Kshara, alkalis. Shukta, fermented gruel. Amma mulaka, uncooked raw rapinous sativas. Krusha, meat of animals which are emaciated. Shushka mamsa, dry meat. Varaha, avi. Go, matsya. Mahisha, amisha, meat of boar, sheep, cow, fish, buffalo. Masha, nispava. Shaluka, which is lotus tuber. Bisa, lotus stack. Pista, shali dhanya powder. Virudhaka, germinated grains. Sushka shaka, dried vegetables. Yuvaka, small variety of barley. Panita, half-cooked molasses. Recommended food to be taken daily. The following food substances can be taken regularly or habitually. Shali, Goduma, Yava, Shastika, Jangala Mamsa, meat of animals dwelling in desert-like lands. Sunnisannaka, Jivanti, ಬಾಲಮೂಲಕ ಪಥ್ಯ or ಹರಿತಕಿ ಅಮ್ಲಕಿ ಮೃದ್ವಿಕ ದ್ರಾಕ್ಷ ಪಟೋಲ ಮುದ್ಗ ಶರ್ಕರ ಶುಗರ್ ಗ್ರತ ಘೀ ದಿವ್ಯೋದಕ uncontaminated rainwater ಕ್ಷೀರ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಷೌದ್ರ honey dadima this dadima is nothing but pomegranate. Yeah, Saindhava lavana, rock salt. So recommended food during night hours. Habitual intake of triphala along with honey and ghee during night time will be useful to improve eyesight. One should consume the food substances regularly, which will be useful to promote the positive health as well as drugs as uh, kirata kirata tikta, useful to cure diseases. Recommended tastes of food substances to be taken at the start, middle, end of the meal. Food substances which are having madhura rasa, guru, snigdha, manda, sthira guna such as bisa, lotus stacks, ikshu, mocha, kadali, coco, narikela, ambra, ಮೋದಕ ಲಡ್ಡು ಉತಾರಿಕಾ sweet dish etc should be consumed at night beginning of the meal, whereas the food substances that are having exact opposite qualities katu rasa laghu ruksha tikshna saraguna should be taken at the end of the meal, while these substances which are predominantly having amla and lavana rasa should be consumed in the middle of the meal. Stomach capacity and allotment of food. Divide the stomach into 4 parts and fill the stomach with 2 parts of the solid food, 1 part with the liquid, and the remaining part should be kept vacant for movement of vata, etc. Anupana, prandial drinks. Anu means afterwards. Anupana means drink that has to be taken after the meal or food substances is known as anupana. Water is the best postprandial drinks, ideal anupana. Ideal anupana. In brief, all the postprandial drinks should have the properties opposite to those of the food taken. But at the same time, such drinks should not be harmful to the tissues, elements of the body. Type of food substances regime and best postprandial drinks. Food prepared with barley, wheat, curds, alcohol, poison, or poisonous drugs and honey. Postprandial drinks is cold water. Corn flour and other foods which are hard to digest. Hot water will be the best anupan. Vegetables, mudga, matsu, buttermilk, sour gruel. Yeah. Obeys to become lean, honey plus water, sosa, emaciation, mutton soup. After eating meat and in Agni Mandhya, wine will be the good drink. So persons debilitated by disease, medicine, long walk, speaking long time, sexual intercourse, fasting, exposure to sun, exercise, aged and children, milk will be the good best postprandial drink. Anupana guna, effect of postprandial drinks. Postprandial drink gives energy and satiation to the human beings, gives energy and nourishment to the body and sense organs, helps in proper digestion, assimilation, and instant diffusion of the food taken. Contraindication: postprandial drinks should not be taken by those suffering from the diseases of the head, cough, injury to chest, running nose, engaged in singing and speaking, hardness of voice. Those who are overhydrated, suffering from polyuria, eye and throat disorders, and wounds should avoid drinking liquids. Soon after taking the food and drinks, one should not give lectures, should not walk long distance, travel by vehicles, should not sleep, should not expose to sun and wind. If so, causes disturbance in the stomach and leads indigestion, etc. Recommended or ideal time for consumption of food.
Yeah, thank you, Shanaji. Let's see if anybody has any clarifications or anything to be added. First, recommended food to be taken daily, food not to be taken on regular basis. Anybody has anything wants to say or add anything?
Yeah, I think very clear. This shali rice, godi or wheat made up of wheat substances, chapati and other things, and barley, yava, or any rice, right, which is yielded in 60 days, shastika rice. All these are, good to go on a daily basis.
Okay. Any clarification anybody wants to say on the Anupana postprandial drinks?
Sir, here they say water is the best postprandial drink, but one should not consume water immediately after consuming food because that will again shuts down the fire, digestive fire. So it is better you take in between the food, and if at all you want to consume means it should be taken after 48 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And also
I think we discussed about the. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
the other day we discussed in the article also stating that maida is kind of a rubber thing and it's not at all good for health. Here, if you look at it, even corn flour is also very hard to digest. Though it is plant source, but still anything made up of corn flour is also very hard to digest. That's the reason the anupana that they have given here is hot water.
And ಧಾನ್ಯ ವರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೂನು ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕಾರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಜೋಳದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ಬಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಕಾರ್ನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಕಾರ್ನ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಡೈಲಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಸ್ ಇಂಡೈಜೆಷನ್
Actually, sweet corn or corn flour not so good for health because sweet corn it actually contains lot of sugar in that. So one thing. Second thing is it's also corn flour, right? It's hard to digest. Yeah.
ಅದೇ ಸುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಜೋಳ ತಿಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಡೈಜೆಷನ್ ವೆರಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಈಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಯು ಸೆಡ್ sweet corn is a bit difficult for digestion. Though it
Sweet
contains water, it is hard to
ಸ್ವೀಟ್
digest.
ಸಾಲಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವರು ಸ್ಟೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
Yes.
ಬೇಯಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ತರದ್ದು ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಗುಡ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
I have seen that after eating that, my kids get indigestion or some other problems.
Okay.
So we should be careful. Like now we are learning so many things. Whenever we are eating anything, antandre, we should tell
Especially
people
these
that
manjuris are
Yeah.
done using corn flour only. Though we say maida, okay, anything maida, and now like we are kind of knowing the properties of maida, like we are kind of avoiding that. But when it comes to manchuri, that is made up
Yeah.
of corn flour only, which is also
First of all,
hard to
oil bread
digest.
itself is not good for health.
True.
And on that corn flour and all, that too, it is all polished one. It is not at all good. So as far as
Yeah.
possible, we should try to avoid it. Once in a while is okay, but even then, after consuming that, we'll have some eru-peru in the digestion.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, one more thing, sir. They have mentioned to consume barley. So here they says two varieties of barley. One is the long grain one and the small one. I think we should identify the right one. because normally what we are getting in the stores are gundagirutte. So we have to find out whether is it good to consume or not. And
I think from the previous chapters, we should not consume the small variety of barley.
Here also it has been mentioned, ಸಣ್ಣ ವೆರೈಟಿ ತಿನ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಣ್ಣಗಿರೋದೇ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ.
Yeah, so we are not seeing the different varieties of barley. That is the problem.
That's why we should identify the right one.
Yeah.
Now that we are recommending people to consume barley also, so we should know which is the right one. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದು book ಅಲ್ಲಿ, as per the book it says it is like ಜವೆ ಗೋಧಿ. ಜವೆ ಗೋಧಿ is a long grain one. ಸಣ್ಣಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಉದ್ದಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗ್ತಿರೋ ಗೋಧಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೋಖಂಡ್ವಾಲ ಅಂತ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಪ್ಪಗಿರೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ is also causing health hazards.
Correct. So even the variety of this wheat or barley, we need to identify and recommend. Okay,
Original Java Godi, it costs you around 100 rupees or somewhere in that range, whereas this Lokhandwala, you get it for 30 rupees or 35 rupees. That is used for making bread and what is that? Dalia ella ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ನುಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಗೋಧಿ ನುಚ್ಚು. For that they are using these kind of wheats. But we should always try consuming Java Godi, which is very good for health.
Java Godi. Okay.
And one more thing here, they ಪಟೋಲಾನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪಟೋಲಾ is actually ಚಕ್ಕೋತ ಸೊಪ್ಪು, sir.
Okay.
That you should consume more, like.
ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹುಳಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಸಿಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು?
ಇವಾಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ.
ಹೌದು, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ರೇರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಮೊದ್ಲು ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಚಕ್ಕೋತ ಸೊಪ್ಪು. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದ್ ಜನ ನೋಡೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಚಕ್ಕೋತ ಸೊಪ್ಪು. ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ ಸೊಪ್ಪುಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಇದು ಒಂದು.
ಚಕ್ಕೋತ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
Okay. Here they given best postprandial drinks, and people who have wants to become fat or wants to become lean, also some drinks. This is also a good way, drinking honey plus water to decrease your weight or to increase your digestion after eating meat. Okay, let's continue with the next page. Recommended ideal time for consumption of food. Chanjana ji, do you want to read from page 165? Chaitra ji?
Hello.
Yeah, Chandra ji, do you want to read page 165?
Yes, sir. Recommended for ideal time for consumption of food. After proper expulsion of natural urges like urine and feces, the heart is in the pleasant condition and is devoid of rasesharjina. It is the ideal time for to take the food. Okay. Similarly to all the three doshas should be in the balanced state, and they should move in their natural paths. Feeling of hunger, clear erectation, downward movement of vata are the signs to eat. When the digestive activity is excited, whenever all the sense organs are pleasant and the body is light, then one should consume food after observing the rules and regulations prescribed in the text. They've also given regimens after taking food. Immediately after taking food, we have to wash the hands, remove the residue of food by cleaning the teeth with the help of toothpicks, mouth gargles, pana chewing, walk about 100 yards, should not travel by vehicles, carrying loads and exposing to sun. A wise man should follow the rules and regulations of the food prescribed so that attains perfect, healthy, happy, and long life, and disease cannot invade him. That the last para is the conclusion of the chapter. In this chapter, Matrashitya Acharya Vagbhata explained the definition of proper quantity of food and their features, qualities of light and heavy food substances, types of improper quantity of food, inadequate, excessive quantity, their complications, and treatment were discussed. Ama dosha treatment, etc. Food taken in proper quantity helps in bringing about strength, complexion, happiness, and longevity, whereas the improper food leads to sorts of tridoshas in human beings. Three types of food is to be discarded: shamasana, shamashana, adhyashana, and vishamashana. Rules and regulations of taking food, postprandial drinks, advantages and contraindications, and at the end, recommended time to eat, etc. have been discussed. End of chapter.
Do you want to continue reading chapter 9?
Yes, sir, sure. Chapter 9, it is Dravyadi Vijnani Adhyaya, that is the proper knowledge of Dravya, Rasa Panchaka, also it's Rasa Panchaka. After Matrashitya Adhyaya, Acharya Vagbhata expounded the chapter Dravadi Vijnaniya, that is the knowledge of Rasa Panchaka. Basic concept of the drug were not touched so far, so hence a separate chapter is also made for this to discuss the specific uh, things such as rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, and prabhava of a dravya. So, important nature and origins of dravya. First, the dravya is also called as a substance. Its chief component among rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, etc., as it is providing shelter to the later. All the substance in the universe are composed with Panchamahabhutas. Prithvi is the substratum, and up our water as its origin. Akasha, Vayu, and Tejas are its other supporting parts. The inseparable concomitance of Prithvi and the other basic elements causes the origin of the substance as well as peculiarity among them. In the formation of shape, Akasha Mahabhuta, or causing hardness, that is Vayu Mahabhuta, germinating parts of plants, that is Teja Mahabhuta. Teja Mahabhuta is also Agni Mahabhuta. Origins of drugs, that is Up Mahabhuta, water, Up, Jala Mahabhuta. Substratum, that is Prithvi Mahabhuta, plays a prominent role here. In this way, the inseparable combinations of all these five basic elements are responsible for formation of dravyas, that is drugs. First is taste, rasa. All the substance in the universe are composed with Panchamahabhutas and no substance that is without Panchamahabhuta. So similarly, diseases are also manifested due to vitiations of tridoshas. Parthiva Dravya means that the drug is predominantly consisting of Prithvi Mahabhuta.
Yeah. Thank you, Chandanaji.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Chaitraji, do you want to read recommended ideal time for consumption of food?
Yes, sir. After proper expulsion of natural urges like urine and fecus, the heart is in a pleasant condition and is devoid of rasa sesarjina, is the ideal time to take food. Similarly, all the tridoshas should be in balanced state and they should move in their natural paths. Feeling of hunger, clear erectation, downward movement of vata or the signs to eat. When the digestive activity is excited, whenever all the sense organs are pleasant and the body is light, then only one should consume food after observing the rules and regulations prescribed in the text. Notes: regimen after taking food. Immediately after taking food, wash the hands, remove the residue of food by cleaning the teeth with the help of toothpicks. Mouth gargles, pan chewing, walk about 100 yards, should not travel by vehicles, carrying loads, exposing to sun. A wise man should follow the rules and regulations of the food prescribed so that attains perfect healthy, happy and long life and the diseases cannot invade him. Thus ends the 8th chapter entitled Matrashitya Adhyaya of Sutra Sthana in Ashtanga Hrudaya Samhita, which was composed by Acharya Vagbhata, son of Sri Vaidyapati Simhagupta. In this chapter, Matrashitya, Acharya Vagbhata explained the definition of proper quantity of food and their features. qualities of light and heavy food substances, types of improper quantity of food, inadequate, excessive quantity, their complications, and treatment were discussed. Amadosha, treatment, etc. Food taken in proper quantity helps in bringing about the strength, complexion, happiness, and longevity, whereas the improper food leads all sorts of tridoshas in the human beings. Three types of food to be discarded are Samashana, Adhyashana, Vishamashana. Rules and regulations of taking food, postprandial drinks, advantages and contraindications, and at the end, recommended time to eat, etc. have been discussed. Dravyadi Vijnaniya Adhyaya, knowledge of Rasa Panchaka. After Matrashitya Adhyaya, Acharya Vagbhata expounded the chapter Dravyadi Vijnaniya, knowledge of Rasa Panchaka, thus said Lord Atreya and other sages. Basic concepts of the drug were not touched so far. Hence, a separate chapter has been allocated to discuss the basic such as rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, and prabhava as under. Dravya or the substance is the chief component among rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, etc., as it is providing shelter to the later. All the substances in the universe are composed with Panchamahabhutas. Prithvi is its substratum, and Aap, Udaka, or water is its origin. Akasha, Vayu, and Tejas are its other supporting parts. The inseparable concomitance of Prithvi and the other basic elements causes the origin of the substances as well as peculiarity among them. In the formation of shape, Akasha Mahabhuta for causing hardness, Vayu Mahabhuta, germinating parts of the plants, Teja Mahabhuta, origin of the drugs, Ap Mahabhuta, substratum, Prithvi Mahabhuta plays the prominent role. In this way, the inseparable combination of all these five basic elements are responsible for the formation of all the drugs as well as diet. Rasa, taste. All the substances in the universe are composed with Pancha Mahabhutas, and no substance is formed with only one Mahabhuta. Similarly, diseases are also manifested due to the vitiation of the Tridoshas. Example, Parthiva Dravya means the drug which is predominantly consisting of Prithvi Mahabhuta.
Yeah, thank you, Chitraji. Let's discuss anything anybody wants to add on recommended ideal time for consumption of food.
Sir, if you have any doubts, you can ask Chandana. She is a BAMS student.
Okay, it's I think will be helpful going forward. I think we will be having Chandana to clarify doubts or to enhance our knowledge. So yeah, anybody wants to add anything regarding the food ideal time for food and as well as what to be done after taking food? So at least mouth gargling should be done at a minimum level after taking the food to clean the residual waste. And nowadays, I don't think people have a habit of doing pana chewing, but yeah, in the household, if you're trying to do, I think that is also a good habit. Okay.
Namaste ji.
Yes, Chandana ji.
As far as I know, I'm still a student. You can correct me if I'm wrong. As far as I've known, pana is normal tambula that they give. Like, you know, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದು ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಹಾಕಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಚೆರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಂಟೈನ್ sweet pans, they'll add certain stuffs which causes more kapha raised in your body, like kapha doshana ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಊಟ ತಿಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋ ಪಾನ್ನ ತಿನ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಬಟ್ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಾಂಬೂಲ ತಗೊಳ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲೆ ಅಡಿಕೆ, ಸುಣ್ಣ ಅಡಿಕೆ, ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೇವನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಗುಡ್.
Yes, so what we recommend is to prepare the tambula, means whatever the pan in home itself, like earlier times, taking 2 leaves and suna and other like a little bit of pepper, not pepper, lavanga. I think that is the ideal way. I think and little
Adike.
yeah. So that's what we are recommending to prepare in the home itself and to have it not from outside, because they mix with lot of combination apart from cherry, kaju, this and that other also. So that is not recommended. Yes. Anything else, Chaitra, you want to add?
ಸರ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಡಕೆನು ಕೂಡ ಸಿಹಿ ರಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಯಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಗ್ರೊಗ್ರಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ರಾ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಡಕೆ ಅದ್ ಹಂಗೆ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಉಪ್ಕಾರ ಅಡಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಹಿ ಅಂಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Okay.
ಇಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಓಕೆ ಚಂದನ?
I guess, Auntie.